Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors for our June 19th, 2007 meeting. Roberta, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Long?
Here.
Supervisor Foy?
Here.
Supervisor Bennett?
Here.
Supervisor Flynn? And Supervisor Parks.
Here. At this time, we have the pleasure to have Harriet Wixell here to give us the moment of affirmation. She's with the Disabilities Ministries, and thank you for coming, and please step on up.
Thank you for letting me be here again, and thank you for doing this. As you can see, my son isn't with me today, and being that I don't hear well, he usually prompts me when it's time to stand up, because I can't understand and I can't hear. When I chatter on and on, it's because I'm in my own little bubble. If I sit with you at an event and I don't respond to a question or I respond inappropriately, please forgive me. I don't hear well. But I do know one thing. I know the importance of those words that you use. I know how important everything that you do is here. I'm with ARC Ventura County. I've served on their board of directors for the last 17 years. They've been in this county for 50 years. We serve over 800 people with developmental disabilities, and we have taken offense to one word. One word has hurt so many of those 800 people, and that word is retarded. We were formerly called the Association for Retarded Citizens, or at one time, Retarded Children. No more. We're ARC Ventura County. The word retarded does not have the same meaning that it used to. And a lot of words that we use now in everyday situations may have more than one meaning. Things have changed. So I ask you to examine the words that you use and listen carefully to the words that are said here in the room. Make sure you have the right meaning. I know you do. If I had one question that I could ask all of you, it would be, why are you here? What brought you? I see so much good in you. I see so many stories in you. I see such a passion in you. And I don't know how to ask you, what brought you here? What I read in the paper, that's paper word. What I read in your eyes and I read in your faces, that's real. I don't know why you're here, but I do know one thing. You have a calling to do what you're doing, in spite of the words that people may use either for you or against you, in spite of the thorn that has been given to you at times. And that thorn can be many things. And Paul tells us it can be a disease, it can be an illness, or it can be an individual that's just a thorn. A good word. So I ask you today to raise your eyes above the thorn, look at the words, and remember why you're here. There's a reason. Shalom. Amen. God be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we have a card on our moment of affirmation. Carol Dean Williams.
Lord, I thank you today for Harriet because she babysitted my camera that they will not let me take to the Hall of Justice, and she can be trusted. You have blessed me with this camera because it has many gigabytes, and the city attorney of Ventura only thought it played for 2 minutes while he was speaking evil against me, but it's on videotape now because of your blessings of many gigabytes. Amen.
Thank you. Supervisor Long, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
Thank you. We have motion and a second. Seeing no objections, then that passes. We'll now go to the agenda review portion of our meeting. I know Supervisor Flynn has an item that he would like to have continued as he's not here today. This is the one regarding campaign finance reform, and that would be a policy item number 36. So does Mr. Johnson also have any suggested changes for the agenda?
Just some information. Consent item number 12 has a replacement attachment number 1, which you, I believe, have received. And item 27, a letter was submitted from the Civil Service Commission.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as revised?
Move the recommended action.
We have a motion and a second, and seeing no objections, that passes. And now we'll move on to our consent agenda items. Those are items 10 through 22. Is there a motion, or would you like to take some off, and we'll go ahead and ask those questions now? Which items would you like to have questions on? Okay. And do we have someone from the healthcare agency right now that can answer some of those questions? Not yet. So why don't we go ahead and approve the agenda item minus item 17 until we do have someone that can answer the questions. So if there's no objection, is there another one on the consent agenda that you would like to also? And 16. Okay. So we're going to now have before us just the items 10 through 22 minus 16 and 17 up for a vote. Is there a motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second, and so the consent agenda is approved minus 16 and 17. Our next item on the agenda is our public comments, and we do have 2 cards. Okay, shall we go to our public comments, and then we'll go to our healthcare questions. Margaret Travers, followed by Carol Dean Williams, and she's with our Ventura County Arts Council, who just awarded some nice scholarships for some high school students in the arts.
Good morning, Chair Parks, supervisors, and Mr. Johnson. I'm Margaret Travers, Executive Director of the Ventura County Arts Council. The Council is very grateful for the support that we receive from the Board of Supervisors as we work to bring the benefits of the arts to your constituents countywide. In April, we recognized individuals, businesses, foundations, and cities who have made notable contributions of time, talent, and money in the support of the arts, and with our Art Stars Awards luncheon at the Courtyard by Marriott in Oxnard, and then the fantastic benefit concert with Big Bad Voodoo Daddy at the Ocean View Pavilion, Port Hueneme. We were delighted that Supervisor Long could join us at the concert and dance to the beat of Scotty Morris and his great band. And in May, the Council joined with Focus on the Masters to award scholarships to graduating seniors who are going on to study the visual arts in college or art school. Their work was also exhibited here in the lobby of the Hall of Administration, and we were pleased that Supervisor Bennett could stop by and offer congratulations to those students. And earlier this month, the Council hosted a reception for our county's art scholars at Studio Channel Islands Arts Center on the campus of Cal State Channel Islands. This year, we have 20 students who've been selected from applicants statewide to attend the California State Summer School for the Arts at CalArts in Valencia. Less than 600 students are selected to attend, so to have 20 from our county is really quite an honor. I have brought for each of you a copy of the commemorative folio which we created for each student. You will see from their statements that they are talented, hardworking, passionate, and very serious about their art. The California State Summer School for the Arts, or InterSpark for short, provides pre-professional training in 7 different disciplines: visual arts, vocal and instrumental music, film and video, animation, dance, creative writing, and theater. The students and their parents were so appreciative of the recognition they received at the reception, particularly the certificates from the Board of Supervisors that were personally delivered by Supervisor Parks. This past Thursday, we accepted work for the annual County Government Center Juried Show. We received more than 100 entries, from which our juror, Michael Pierce, who's a professor of art at California Lutheran University, selected 35 pieces, and they're now on exhibit in the lobby of the Hall of Administration. And Thursday at 5:30, here in the lobby, we're holding a reception and award ceremony where we'll be awarding cash awards, and everyone is invited to stop by. And finally, I have also brought for you copies of the application for the 6th Annual National Arts Program for county employees and their immediate families. The deadline for entries is August 1st. The exhibit will go up in the lobby of the Hall of Administration on August 15th. We will be distributing copies of the entry form through the county brown mail to each of the county departments, but any employee wanting a application can either stop by our office at the 646 County Square Drive building or give us a call at 658-2213. And we, again, are very appreciative of your support of our activities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Bennett, you got a comment?
I do. I mean, I think you can just hear from Margaret. I mean, she's the lifeblood of keeping all of these programs moving, and there are just so many good things that when we get a chance to visit and stuff. But it reminds me of that great scene in Dr. Zhivago when somebody explained the whole sort of communist system, and he was the poet and, you know, much more into freedom of expression, et cetera. And he said, you know, I appreciate what you're doing, but somebody's got to keep the patient alive while you're doing all the surgery. And I would offer, you know, I mean, he was saying somebody's got to breathe and everything else. That, you know, we've been in a period of cutbacks in terms of art education and funding ever since Prop 13, you know, really hit in California. And you talk about keeping the patient alive. You're just doing a great job, Margaret. So thank you very much for it's a great gift you're giving, particularly the young people, to inspire them and keep them moving after this. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, as speaking of young people, at our Arts Award luncheon, we gave a special award to Penny Wilcott, who is 92, I think, and she has done some wonderful things in Port Hueneme. She lives in Port Hueneme, and last summer she did this patriotic variety show. And so we asked her when we presented her the award if she had something that she would like to say, and she said, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, she said, I really appreciate all you do for the young people, but remember that some of the old people like us like to do things too. So she said, every time I have an opportunity, I tell them, get off their butts and get out there and do things. So we thought that was really cute. And at the concert, she came to the concert because we recognized them all again, and she said, well, I have cotton in my ears, and as soon as you recognize me, I'm going to go. And I said, oh, that's fine, that's fine. Guess who was the last one out the door? She was dancing along with Supervisor Long and all the others to the great beat of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. It was a terrific time. But thank you. We really do appreciate your good words. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Our last public comment speaker is Carol Dean Williams. You know how to get Supervisor Long to an event, huh? Just have some dancing.
Good morning, Carol Dean Williams, 62-year resident. A point of order, Mr. Flynn has item 36. You plan on him being present today for me to reserve some time for that item, or?
It has been continued.
Oh, it has been continued?
Yes, it has.
Oh, well, thank you. So I can use all my time. Did you receive my email, Supervisor Park, about the streaming faucet?
Yes.
I went in this morning. There's a brand new shiny faucet there, no water running out. That was running out for 2 weeks. I videoed it. So, yeah.
There's government in action.
Yeah, and I'm the only one that will should I say, what's that prod that the cowboy used on the cow? No, I don't use that on you guys. All right, so this is continued to next week. I don't have a poem. Yeah, I mean, so what should I do?
You could reserve your time until later if you'd like.
Well, let me do this. Since this is not related to item 36, but it is related to the campaign finance reform, I apologize for the delayed message. The commission gave me a message to send back to this board when they heard Mr. Foy's case, and they know that I'll get it right. They were steaming. Mr. Bennett has left. They were so mad at Mr. Bennett of the audacity to send them a letter telling them what your legislative intent was. They said, we're the commission. We will determine what this ordinance says. And you know, I sat through that in utter amazement because they didn't convict Mr. Foy on the code section that it was complained against. They picked another code section. I'm telling you, so I don't know if you'll need that ex-party stuff, because I don't think they want to talk to you at all. They might use me as the messenger, but I'm kind of unclear on what the appeal process. They said Mr. Foy could appeal, and I would think this board would be the final. No, so I got to answer my question on who the appeal people are. I didn't get that far because the commission, the structure of this commission, has spent upwards to $500,000 and have only collected $1,030-something. That's all you've collected is $1,000-something in this huge expense. And you know, in all seriousness, I'd like to, like Harriet said, I'd like to make each one of you a challenge because this is being rewritten. I would like each one of you to give me what you would like to see this ordinance do, and let me write the ordinance, and I'll guarantee you it will pass muster of your county council. He will be amazed at what this citizen can do and what he's failed to do. If each 5 of you would say, this is what I would like to see a campaign ordinance do, and I'll tell you, I'll write an ordinance that's fair and equal, and you'll love it. People will run for office just so they can practice it. I'm telling you, I'm ready. All right, thanks, supervisors.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. You had 5 seconds left. We'll now go back to some questions we had on the consent agenda, and these are Healthcare Agency items 16 and 17, and Mr. Lorenz. And Supervisor Foy had a couple of questions. Supervisor Foy, your questions?
On 16, I guess I was asking, it sounds like we have the neurosurgical services that we're having done by Dr. Herman.
Yes, we
Right. And it also, I was curious on a couple things. This is some of those things we talk about that we will, you know, we'll receive reimbursement revenues through some of the work that they do. And I guess we're contracting a new service with him. It says we're almost $64,000 less than what we had before. Is there a reason? Are we doing something different?
We had previously contracted with 2 other part-time neurosurgeons.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Herman would come in and replace that coverage, plus, in addition, provide for call coverage for the facility.
Okay.
So in the process, we were able to save the system.
Which is great. That's great. And by bringing, the idea that we had a contract that was $63,000 or $64,000 higher, did we spend that money, or was that just what we had?
That is
kind
what
of approved.
that is what we spent.
That's
in
what
the
we
prior
spent.
year.
All right. We spent that. I guess what I'm trying to figure is a lot of times we come, and I know I think it says here in 17, this next one, this is a new, we're replacing, in 17, we're replacing Dr. Chin with Dr. Kim?
Dr. Kim is placing Dr. Ching.
Dr. Ching, okay. And by doing that, let me switch to the next one, if I could, this 18 or 17. What did we pay him before, the other doctor? Is there, because I don't see, it looks like there was no cost, or maybe it just wasn't, since we're at the end of the year, it wasn't part of the budget. Is that what that was? It says the 06, 07, we had 0, and here we're going to $417,000.
I have that right here. 1 second.
I didn't know if because we must have paid the other doctor something.
Yes, we did. In fact, Dr. Kim's previous contract was $360,000 plus addition. He did take call, so his contract was slightly higher than the contract that we are providing for Dr. Kim.
Okay, because we have $300,000 here for Dr. Kim, and then $97,000 was the call.
Exactly.
Right? And then additional 20, so $417,000. So this is a savings to make a change here too, or what?
There is a savings. In fact, if I could mention that we are in the process of restructuring the orthopedics department, and in the process of negotiating these contracts, they will start to be coming to your board. This is one of several. We also have orthopedic pediatric surgery services, as well as other surgical services, trauma, and so forth.
Right.
In those contract negotiations, we expect to save the system approximately $230,000 over the previous contracts, and that is what we've actually paid out over the previous fiscal year.
I guess that's what I'm asking. That's where I'm trying to come with this, is by bringing these people on full-time versus contract with them, you found that our requirement for services has gone up, and it's cheaper for us to bring somebody in-house to do them instead of contracting out. Is that why we're doing this?
We went through an initial period of, in our efforts to make sure that we retained good quality physicians during a period in time we were going through transition. So we were having doctors coming on and off board. And so essentially what we've done is been able to, through these contracts and recruitment efforts, been able to identify key physicians that could help us sustain the system in the orthopedic department, not only in the short term but long term. So these contracts, we feel, not only will result in savings but provide for basic sustainability to the system of orthopedic coverage, which is crucial to our system. It affects our inpatient, our surgical services, our outpatient services. So it cuts across the board in terms of our ability to be efficient, not just in the orthopedic departments, but in other surgical service areas as well.
Okay. All right. I guess that's where I was trying to understand. It's not what you're paying us, though. It's just the reason we're doing it. So, ideally, then you're saying that we can be more effective, more efficient with this. But when we bring these people on orthopedics, we're receiving enough revenue in the work we do to cover their costs?
You know, I can take a look at those figures, but I know that we have improved significantly in our ability to bill and collect, primarily in the area of professional fees. I think you had seen some numbers previously in the budget hearings of the amount of money that we've achieved in our professional fee billing. So overall, we have improved significantly in our receivables.
But you can't tell me if we've made it. Because some of these doctors look like pretty high-quality doctors you're bringing on, which has been great to see. And I would imagine, though, not just the people who can't afford to pay, but some of the people who can afford will want to use some of these doctors.
Right. And I'd be happy to provide those figures to you in terms of how we're doing specifically in the orthopedic department.
Yeah, I'd just like to make sure that at some point, as we saw last night with this $3.7 million deficit we're going to run in the system, I don't want to keep adding to that if we can contract out for a little longer period until we have that services. But I understand where you're trying to come from, be more effective, more efficient, which is great. But we still have...
Right. And if I may, you've touched on two very key points. One is that we are showing a reduction in our expenditures, but also I expect to see an improvement in our receivables, our billings and receivables, given the fact that we do have and have been able to retain high-quality physicians in that department.
Okay, great. All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. While we're on the topic, last night there was a discussion, that was our budget hearings, the potential to change the way we do collections. And I'm wondering, also similar to what Supervisor Foy was discussing about how much we do, what is our rate, or if we can get some information on that, and if you feel that we have a pretty effective as other counties, or even better in terms of being able to collect on bills.
And I'd be happy to get that information to you. And I do know that we are in terms of our collections, especially the self-pays, are well beyond what other systems do collect in terms of cash. And we'd be happy to provide you those
And we
numbers.
do that by contracting out to a collection agency?
It's a combination of things, but I can tell you that we have what I would consider a top-rate billing and collections department in-house.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Foya, your questions are answered. Do you want to make a motion? Okay. So the motion then is to approve items 16 and 17.
Thank you.
Motion and a second. Seeing no objection, then that passes. We would now go to, well, we are going to our regular agenda at this point. The first item on the agenda is the Harbor Department. This is item 32. We didn't continue it during our agenda review, but I do know that we did get a letter in request that that item is continued to our next meeting. So let's go ahead and have a motion then to continue item 32 to our next meeting. See no objection, that passes. And the item itself actually says request to continue, so we did. Our next item then is item 33, and this is the Human Services Agency and regarding some approvals. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Parks, members of the board, Mr. Johnston. I'm Melissa Livingston, Deputy Director for the Human Service Agency. The item before your board this morning is really requesting renewal and approval of a variety of provider service contracts, many of which have been approved by your board in the past, as well as some that we've most recently gone through some competitive procurements and re-awarded those contracts to existing providers. In essence, there's a total of about $12 million in requests for 19 contracts. The general fund contribution is about $48,000. Most of these contracts represent services for shelter care, foster care, adoption services, child care services, and training services. The Human Service Agency believes that all of these services are essential to meet our core mission, as well as provide effective and efficient delivery of services to our community. Staff are available today if you have any questions specifically related to any of the contracts.
Are there any questions, Supervisor Long?
No, just to, again, ask you to comment on the total cost of the contracts and the total net county costs for those contracts. And the number is, just for the public record.
The total cost is $12,000, or $12 million.
That's the contracts.
That's the total contracts. The net county cost, which is a portion of that, is the $48,610.
And for that, we're providing, we have contracts that support kids and families, that do our foster care, that support training at our community college district. I mean, it's a very impressive chart of contracts that we work with the community to provide services. So just comment.
And get a lot of bang for our buck.
I just want to repeat
Supervisor
that.
Bennett?
So $48,000 in net county costs gets us $12 million
Absolutely.
in services. That's not a bad return on
Pretty good
investment.
deal.
Supervisor Foy?
I have to agree with them. It's not a bad return. The only thing I have to say, though, the $12 million is still taxpayer dollars that we're spending. It's not coming out of our county dollars, but it's still state and federal, so we all have to understand that. So I think it's important that we get the best we can. It's great that we as the county don't have to spend that, but it is costing us all money.
Yeah, and I think it's important to share with you that the Human Service Agency, with all of our contractors, as well as we invited the community to some recent performance-based contracting forums, and actually some CDRIC is in the audience today. They participated in that with us, and it's really about holding ourselves accountable as an organization to quality of services, and as our contractors being an extension of who we are as an organization and the services we provide, holding them accountable also. So we've gone through a very collaborative process of looking at outcomes and performance measures that are realistic and reasonable and achievable that we can hold ourselves accountable to. And we're very proud of that effort, and as we move into the new fiscal year, 08-09, we'll be actually looking at incentivizing the performance-based contracting programs.
And I might point out that while these are other tax, these are tax dollars still, these tax dollars. So also the bottom line is we have no choice, and I don't think society has any choice when a child gets abandoned. We've got them. And we can't sit there and say, well, you know, we only have the budget for 4 foster kids, you know, when we have them. And so it is, you know, if you talk about sort of mandated, this is one of those things that's mandated. You know, we don't have any choice. We have to take care of those foster children and stuff. So anyway, nice job with this. Thank you.
We do have a motion and a second. Seeing no objections, that passes. And I think that brings us to our policy items. And the first policy item is one I'm bringing forward with glee. This is item 34. The city of Thousand Oaks, where the supervisor has had the second district supervisor has had an office since the building was built. The Civic Arts Plaza has decided that the city would like to move into those offices as they expand. And so I need to move out. Well, I'm thinking instead of helping me pick colors, you can actually help me pack boxes. So as a result, I've been looking for a space and found a location on Thousand Oaks Boulevard. It's a storefront location, and it has great parking. It's about 100 feet from a bus stop. It's handicap accessible, and it's visible, and it's also near a French pastry shop. Chocolatine. So if you want to stop by, I'm hoping the community will bring a croissant with them. And I would ask that the board go ahead and approve this lease agreement. This is would be a direct cost of $34,000 for 0607. That is actually coming out of my existing supervisor budget, because I have some excess there. So the $34,000 will be for the tenant improvements. And then the monthly or the yearly lease of $46,980. So that would be my motion then, to approve the lease as specified. Thank you. Motion and a second. Any objections? Seeing none, then that passes. Thank you for that. And I think we'll be moving into that office in probably near the end of summer as the tenant improvements are done. And in the meantime, if the city has asked that I leave by the end of June, the office won't be ready until August, so we're going to see if we can get a little extension of a couple of months, so I don't have to move twice. But otherwise, we will be moving our office temporarily to the county government center until those tenant improvements are done. The next item then on the agenda is item 35, and this is with Supervisor Foy for an appointment.
Yes. I'd just like to recommend Mrs. Morgan Dusu to the Commission for Women, Ventura County. I think her expertise and qualifications would be a great assistance there.
Okay. Got a motion and a second for the appointment to the Women's Commission.
Thank you.
Seeing no objection, then that passes. Item 36 got continued, and that brings us to item 37, Resource Management Agency, Weights and Measures. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Parks, board members. Mr. Johnston. This is an annual contract that we have with the state of California to perform inspections for petroleum and weighmaster as part of our normal duties. It reimburses us for our costs of doing those inspections. I'm available for questions.
Are there any questions? No? Got a motion and do we have a second? Then a second. Seeing no objections, then that passes. Thank you very much. I think our next item on the agenda is our correspondence agenda. We have a motion and a second to approve items 38 through 41 to have received. Seeing no objections, we receive them. I think until we go to our 9:30 time certain, we can have our board comments. So, Supervisor Long, would you like to begin?
Thank you. I just had one I wanted to make to adjourn in memory of Fred Stewart, Jr. Out of Santa Paula. Very, very much a loved constituent in the Santa Paula community, very active with Rotary and many service organizations, and he will certainly be missed by the entire community. Thank you. I think that's it.
Supervisor Foy, would you like to go next?
Sure. I don't have anybody to adjourn, but I just want to say that I appreciate the work that the rest of the board did on the budget my first time through, and it was enjoyable. wasn't as laborious as everybody thought it would be, but I thought it was great, and I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you. Supervisor Bennett?
Yeah, I'd like to ask the board to adjourn in memory of the people on this list. And with regard to the budget, we have 5 years ago, we established some budget principles, and we stuck to those budget principles last night. Things like, ongoing money for ongoing expenses. We didn't budget ongoing expenses beyond our ongoing revenue. And as long as we keep doing that, we'll be able to keep this county in good fiscal shape. And, we always have some disagreements at the margin on little things, but on the big things, it's very satisfying to be part of a board that buys into those principles. And so appreciate the board's action. I appreciate the leadership from the CEO's office in terms of trying to establish those principles. Thank you.
And I would just comment, our work is not done. We are going to be getting a benchmark study in October, and I think we'll have to be rolling up our sleeves as we did last night at our board meeting on the budget. So I look forward to seeing that study and getting input in the work that our staff is going to have to do with the various departments who have some very high-ticket items. I would also like to mention that our county is delighted to have a new cafeteria, which has just opened, and I encourage everyone to go eat at the cafeteria, and our board will be joining you. Also, I wanted to comment on Saturday, Friday actually, I went to see the graduating Fire Academy class show their stuff, and it was something open to the whole public, and it was really something to see. I really encourage anyone who hasn't attended to go watch them take apart a brand new SUV in front of my eyes with the jaws of life, put out some a fire in a mobile home, and put out a little brush fire, and watched how they rappelled down buildings, and it's just pretty amazing. And also, of course, to see how fast they can actually get into their firefighting gear, which is pretty incredible. A lot of heavy stuff, and even had a helicopter fly over that put out some fire too. So it was a good demonstration, and you just really realize how much manual effort is involved in that position. And we always are concerned for our firefighters. I know that we had a tragedy for our nation in Charlottesville, South Carolina. They lost 9 firefighters, and a furniture store fire when a roof collapsed. And it's just realize how these people put themselves on the line every day, and sometimes you don't know that it's something that's going to be as dangerous as it is, but we know that the first priority of our firefighters really is to protect their lives and the lives of others. I would also ask that our board close in honor of the people on this list. And I think that concludes our board comments. I think we have about 10 and 15 minutes. We can go into closed session. Mr. County Counsel, that works for you? Okay, and we'll come back at 9:30 for our 9:30 time certain. Thank you. Session for the June 19th, 2007 Board of Supervisors meeting. We're now at our 9:30 time certain items. And the first item, item 23, is a presentation of a resolution honoring the 2007 Ventura County Family Friendly Employers. And I'll go ahead and read this resolution. It reads, the Board of Supervisors of Ventura County honors the 2007 Ventura County Family Friendly Employers, and whereas well-balanced work-life employment practices improve the community's overall quality of life, since family-friendly work environments promote workforce productivity, employee retention, and family unity, and family-friendly employment promotes economic development by attracting a competitive workforce to Ventura County. And whereas the Business Work-Life Alliance of Ventura County provides work-life resources, business strategies, and recognition for employers throughout Ventura County, and with the support of the Workforce Investment Board of Ventura County, Child Development Resources of Ventura County, and Ventura County Economic Development Association, the Alliance is developing California's first family-friendly business region. And whereas the Business Work-Life Alliance awards the exceptional employers with the recognition as a Ventura County family-friendly employer for showing demonstrated commitment to promoting a positive work-life environment for their employees. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Ventura County Board of Supervisors takes pleasure in recognizing and honoring the outstanding efforts of the 2007 Ventura County family-friendly employers. And I have a list of those employers. I know we have some representatives here if you'd like to come up to the microphone of the Alliance, and the awardees are Amgen, California State University Channel Islands, Camarillo Healthcare District, Child Development Resources of Ventura County Incorporated, the City of Oxnard, the City of Thousand Oaks, the City of Ventura, the County of Ventura, First Five Ventura County, Limonera Company, Mayerson Marketing, Ojai Valley Inn and Spa, Patagonia, Lost Arrow Corporation, Port of Hueneme, Oxnard Harbor District, Santa Barbara Bank and Trust, Pacific Bank Corp., Solar World Industries America, the Temp Agency, Trophies, etc., Ventura County Star, Ventura County United Way, and WellPoint. And it's great to see you here this morning, and we do award you, and we so much appreciate what you do for our workforce. And I'll come on down there, and if you'd like to give us some words of wisdom and how well you do, we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chair Parks and Board of Supervisors, and to all the employers. My name is Jack Hinojosa. I'm a member of the Business Work-Life Advisory Board, along with Bill Barato. And I'm also representing Child Development Resources of Ventura County. I'd like to thank the board and employers for their commitment to Ventura County families and support of the efforts to promote family-friendly work environments. Rather than take too much time, I'd like to give the opportunity for the representatives from the various employers locally that were awarded at our Work Life Summit event on June 6th at Spanish Hills Country Club. So at this time, I'd like to let them self-introduce, and again, thank you.
How about some self-introductions, and can we start here?
Sure. I'm Claudia Harrison from First Five Ventura County, and thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you'd like to mention maybe a little bit of what you do, and that got you this award, that's good too, so others can hear.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Johnson. I'm also with First Five Ventura County, and we have several work-life policies that we implement. We have a flexible work week that we allow our employees that offers benefits for their families. We also have flexible spending plans so that they can deduct child care deductions out. We have evaluations where we can allow people to kind of adjust their work so that it enables them to create balance with their work. So it's just a few of the things.
That's a lot of things. If you wouldn't mind, if you come to the microphone. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gabriela Cervantes, and I work for Limonera Company. I'm fairly new, so I'm still getting used to everything we're doing. They asked me to come and accept the award on their behalf. They're very thankful. Yes, I do. I do.
Thank you. Can
we have the next?
I'm Ruth Bowman. I'm with Human Services, and I'm an advisory board member also.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to come up to the microphone? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us today. My name is Elizabeth Fajardo. I'm the Director of Human Resources with the Ojai Valley and SPA. It's a pleasure to be here. One of the reasons that we're here today is to accept the recognition. We recently introduced our child care program for the community and our associates, so we're very excited about that. It is our first phase. It's a weekend-driven program. The most exciting part about the program is that our ownership and company has provided subsidy to provide at least 50 to 90% of savings to help the associates with the cost of care. That's the most exciting. Thank you.
Okay, come on up with Kara.
Hi, I'm Jane Rosansky, and I'm the CEO of the Camarillo Healthcare District. And the Camarillo Healthcare District is committed to the health and wellness of the community, and that also involves our employees. And Kara Partridge is our Chief Administrative Officer, and she'll tell you a little bit about why we won this award this year.
We're just so proud, I guess. Our Board of Directors, as Jane said, is committed to maintaining balance in the employees as well as the community. We have a lot of the flexible work schedules, particularly this time of the year when you have graduations, you have summer vacations, you have half days at school that workers need to flex for that. We have opportunities to, my personal favorite, you asked if we have a family. I do have 6 furry children, furry 4-legged children, and so we do have an opportunity to take care of all of the things that matter in our life. And those are the animals that are in our care at home, the children that are in our care at home, and the ability to create our own balance within the scope of the workplace. And we're just really proud to be part of this.
Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Inez Byrne. I'm a Human Resources Manager with WellPoint.
And I'm Chris Russell, a Human Resource Manager with WellPoint, and some of the programs that we offer is a new parent transition week, which allows new parents to come back and work part-time, but be paid at a full-time salary. We also have a program's flexible spending accounts where the company matches for dependent or for daycare. We also extend, in California we're known as having more family leave time than other states do, and we extend that outside of California to give parents more time when they're bonding with children. So some of the programs that we have.
And what impresses me with WellPoint, I just started February '06. What impresses me is I have management coming to me asking for my assistance. Inez, I want to do some alternate schedules with my associates. What can we do? Can we have 410s? Can we have work-at-home policies? Absolutely. Let me show you how. So that's what impresses me, because they're coming, management actually coming to us for assistance in providing that. Yes, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Shelley Dyer with Santa Barbara Bank and Trust. On behalf of the bank, I'd like to say thank you to the County of Ventura for recognizing us for being a family-friendly organization. I'm fairly new to the company, but one of the attractions to coming to Santa Barbara Bank and Trust was the promise of work-life balance. Thank you.
Again, Jackie Nahosa, Associate Executive Director of Child Development Resources. We also took over the Business Work-Life Advisory Board. It was the 4th year. This is our first year overseeing the annual event that was held in June. It was under great leadership with Mary Riley, who's in the audience as well. I'd like to acknowledge her efforts, outstanding efforts, in establishing the advisory board as well as the annual event that we're going to continue and we're definitely committed to. As far as our agency, we have implemented a wellness program, which a wellness room with available health and nutrition and resources that are available to all our employees. We also have an on-site fitness center. All of the equipment was donated. There wasn't $1 spent to establish that. It is on site to make it available and more accessible to all of our employees. And of course, we have a long-term benefit and looking at extending some of those benefits to our employees in the coming year. So thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jess Herrera, the Oxnard Harbor District. I'm here with our Marketing Director, Will Berg. We're very great. Did you get that one, Will? Anyway, we're very proud of providing a terrific workplace for our employees. In a recent survey that was done by an outside agency, our employees found that our port is a place that they love working at, where they have a future, and they enjoy the benefits and the pay that the Oxnard Harbor District provides, and we hope to continue doing that for another 70 years. Thank you very much.
Hi. Watch it, James. My name's Dave Fauble. I own Trophies, etc. We're kind of a little guy. We've got about 9 to 10 employees. We got involved in this at the start, and through sharing and picking up a lot of ideas from everybody, we found working off-site, flexible schedules, just a whole myriad of different ideas that we've been able to share with other new folks coming into the program and use at the shop. And it makes happy employees, which makes happy customers. Weird.
Hello, I'm Bonnie Bainey, and I'm here to thank you for awarding us this honor from Patagonia. I'm one of their lead teachers in the daycare. I call it Kathy. We serve children from infancy through 3rd grade on-site child care for employee-based child care, and our parents are in and out of our program all the time with very flexible hours, and we absolutely love it being on site with our parents because they're there all the time for our children. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Now, didn't the owner write a book about when the surfing's good?
Let my people surf. It's the only place I've ever gone where I walk in and I know what the snowpack is that day or how high the surf is. And we do have parents who surf at lunch. We do have parents who have flexible hours so that they can go and try out some of our equipment, and we love that a lot. So we get a lot of good feedback. Thank you.
Happy employees.
Yes, very happy employees.
Did you want to? Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony McMahon, and I'm Child Care Services Manager for Child Development Resources. And one of the things that I just wanted to say is congratulations to all the employers here. But I also wanted to recognize First Five because they were the leaders in actually starting this particular program about 5 years ago. And without their support, you know, it's like look at what we're doing now. And Ventura County is going to be a family-friendly zone for Ventura, but also a model for the whole state of California.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Very good.
Good morning. My name is Jenny Roney. I'm the Human Resources Director for the City of Ventura. We're very excited to be here, and thank you to the board for this recognition. This is the city's 3rd year being recognized as a family-friendly employer. We have many work-life balance programs, including leave programs and flexible schedules. But the shining star of our program is our health and fitness program. We have 4 on-site fitness centers in our different buildings, and we also have a virtual health program where employees can log on and manage their health and fitness and nutrition, and also it's available to employees' families, and they can do that at home. So we're very excited about that program. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Sofia Valderrama, and I represent the city of Oxnard. And this is our 4th of the 5 years that this has been in place, this award, and we're very appreciative for that. And we've participated in this program for about 5 years, and we developed a task force on site to try to find what short-term resources that we had available and what type of opportunities we could find in working with other businesses and other community-based organizations to bring in different benefits to our own employees. For example, we started through our task force to look at working with the Oxnard College and finding a way to perhaps set some spaces available for our employees that could go to the Oxnard College and be served by the Oxnard College child care there. The other opportunities that we were looking for is, for example, when it comes to finding ways to work with other businesses in the community. Like, for example, we developed a coalition there. I can't remember what we were the name of this coalition, but we worked with other organizations to look at, for example, sharing the cost of child care at a particular site. We had an opportunity to visit with Mary Riley different child care sites here in the counties, for example, for Patagonia and also Amgen. And that was a very exceptional experience for us as a city, because we were looking at how we could try to maximize those benefits to the employees without having to actually pay for the entire bill. So we were looking at short-term based opportunities as well, long-term opportunities. And we are sometimes, it seems like it's a slow process for us in the city when it comes to trying to bring in the change the culture within, getting other departments and getting departments to understand the word work life. And it's something that we're working hard through our task force and just changing the minds of how we as a city can get and move forward with this work life. So that's something that we're really excited about, just trying to move forward with this task force, doing, great things out there for our employees. And what we've seen is that it just takes a lot of work, and we're very excited about participating in it. And the board, our council, has been very supportive of this, and so that really helps, especially as well as our city manager and our assistant city manager and our deputy city manager have been very supportive of the staff's efforts to try to find ways to bring to the benefits to the employees. So, so thank you.
Good morning. My name is Amy Fonzo, and on behalf of the United Way of Ventura County, and we have implemented many family-friendly policies, and one being flexible schedules and telecommuting, and most importantly, volunteerism and community service. And I'd also like to thank our board chair, Dave Fabel, and board member Christine Cohen, and take this opportunity to welcome Supervisor Parks to the United Way board as well. Thank you.
Good morning. Harold Pierce, Manager of Benefits. This is really my first venture into work life. Coming out of private enterprise, a lot of companies don't want to really spend the time and money to promote work life. But I must say in the last year working with Patty, it's been an incredible experience.
Good morning. My name is Patty McWaters, and in case you didn't know, and I'm proud to say that the County of Ventura does have a work-life program for its over 8,000 employees, and I have the honor and privilege of coordinating that program. In that role, I do child care and elder care resource and referral for employees. We host an elder care support group once a month for those employees that are caring for an elderly relative. We have a discount program for child care and preschool centers across the county for employees. I put out resources for after-school programs, put out resources for parenting children, especially parenting teenagers, combine with wellness program to provide parenting classes for employees, a wide variety of resources to help employees with balance, keeping their balance between work and family and life.
Great. Thank you.
Supervisor Parks, I know we have the marketing man from the port here, but we also have somebody else who wants to take a picture. Could we get everybody together and have the supervisors come down?
Sure. Great. I would just like to add also that we will get a copy of the proclamation out to each of the employers so they can keep.
Get fringes, get fringes. You can come over further. Yes.
Nice to hear all the programs that are out there and give us some ideas for our county, too. Our next item on the agenda is one from Supervisor Long.
Yes, thank you. And it is a pleasure to bring this forward to the board and to invite in Commissioner Jess Herrera, who is on the Oxnard Harbor District, and to be able to please step down again, sir. To be able to bring into the boardroom the long history that this county is fortunate to have with the Oxnard Harbor District. The district was created in 1937, and it was to construct and manage the commercial port of Hueneme, which is the largest deep-water port of entry between Los Angeles and San Francisco. And the mission of providing California's central coast agricultural industry was its key mission at that time. And it really was to take advantage of the world trade that was available and certainly the national trade that worked out of this port with our agricultural community. The port has served as a strong neighbor to our local naval base, Ventura County, particularly during World War II, where there was a lot of history with the cooperation. The entire port was used for military cargo operations, and it continues today to jointly serve, use services with Wharf 3 for military and commercial purposes with the Harbor District and the Naval Base. In 1976, the California State Legislature determined the port of Hueneme to be one of the state's primary economic and coastal resources, an essential element of our maritime history. The port has undertaken extensive capital improvement in recent years to maintain its leadership and increase its trade and shipping, managing over $6 billion worth of cargo, 5,000 local jobs, and benefiting our local economy over $600 million to our local economy yearly. So the Port of Hueneme, Oxnard Harbor District, continues to provide exceptional trade opportunities, transport services, distinguish itself as truly an economic engine in our county, and celebrating their 70 years of outstanding service to our residents, our businesses, and our global community. So it was my delight to be able to invite Commissioner Jess Herrera, and you've already met Will Berg, the cameraman, to come to the boardroom to acknowledge the 70th anniversary of the port, and I'd like to step down to present this resolution on behalf of the board to do so. And please invite you, sir, to say a few words.
Thank you, Supervisor Long. It's really a personal and professional privilege for me to be here today and address you, and to thank Supervisor Long for this recognition. The Port of Hueneme obviously is very important to all of us, and I bring to you the warmest greetings from my fellow harbor commissioners and staff at the Port of Hueneme. We're all very proud of this recognition today that Supervisor Long has brought forth. We feel that we have a tremendous record of creating economic development, bringing world-class customers to the area, having them locate here and provide meaningful employment for Ventura County citizens. Our vision for the future is to keep cooperating with local jurisdictions to create those business opportunities and bring more meaningful employment that pays good wages and benefits to our local citizens. We look forward to the cooperation of everyone in Ventura County to meeting those ends, and we would also like to extend an invitation to all of you that haven't had an opportunity to visit our port to come down and see firsthand what it is that we do there and the opportunities that are available that benefit all the citizens of Ventura County. And of course, we're tax-free and operate on our own revenues, so we're very proud of that record. And once again, I'd like to thank Kathy for bringing this forward and for all her kind words about the port. And thank you too, Joan and ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good.
Thank you. Congratulations on 70 years.
Thank you very much.
Our next item on our agenda is item 25, and this is the second hearing of an adoption of an ordinance that we approved, and this is in regards to the marriage fee ceremony. So the fee for marriage ceremony reading we already had the reading of the ordinance, so do we have a motion to approve this?
It should cost more.
Move the
Think
recommendation.
about that decision second.
That's right. But I think the cost of the ring still is the same. Motion?
Second.
And a second. Seeing no objections, that passes. Item 26 is also a second hearing. This one is regarding the adoption of an ordinance that we approved regarding retail food facility requirements. Is there a motion?
Move the recommended action.
Motion and a second. Seeing no objections, that passes. Item 27 was put off, and our next item we have before us is our items that are 10:30 time certains. I don't think we have any more business before the board this morning other than that 10:30 time certain, so why don't we,
That's just closed session.
do we have any more closed session? Yes, we do. So we'll
You
go
have
ahead
only
and go
one.
into closed session and then come back at our 10:30 time certain.
No, we don't have anything else at 10:30.
You have a performance evaluation closed session.
And, okay, so we don't have to come
Nothing
back, we don't have to come back to, the 10:30 is the closed session.
Right.
Got it. So we will then go ahead and adjourn from our closed session to our next meeting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, why did we continue, Tracy?
What happened with it?
You knew I didn't.
The only thing that was changed with it is there was a letter submitted by the Civil Service Commission. Please.
Well, before we actually really close our meeting and adjourn, we do have item 27. There was a minor change to it. I thought it was continued, but it was not. So thank you for catching that.
Move the recommended action.
We will have a motion and a second on it, and this approves the MOA with the Sheriff's Association. I'm glad we were able to do that.
And move a letter to the Civil Service Commission as the action.
Yes, and that's right. And so with that, we will adjourn from closed session. Thank you.